So if you guys are not aware of the person called Mary Kenny, okay? Mary Kenny is a writer who used to work for Insomniac Games. And this particular person has talked about identity politics 24/7, okay? And she has made it her mission to push LGBTQ activism in essentially everything that she writes. Now, unfortunately, and I find this interesting because she was just talking about Marvel's Wolverine as if she was going to be there for the launch. She was just talking about it. She was talking about how excited she is for it. She can't wait for you to get your hands on it. All this stuff. And now, apparently, out of nowhere, because nobody saw this coming, she moved. Either she got fired and got hired by CD Projekt Red, which I doubt. I think this was more of a poach. I think this was a poaching, right? So CD Projekt Red, I think, poached this person away from Insomniac Games, or this person decided to apply to CD Projekt Red, actually got the job, was shocked, and took it. I think that's more likely to what happened. I don't think she was fired because she basically moved immediately. But apparently, she works now for CD Projekt Red. So it says, Sweet Baby Ink Defender, who says every lever must be pulled in order to push LGBTQ plus agenda, announces that she has joined CD Projekt Red. Now, I'm going to give you a trigger warning, okay? Even though I don't normally give you trigger warnings. Let's showcase who Mary Kinney is in case you guys don't know. Some of you might not know. Maybe you're new here. Maybe you never heard it. But the moment you see her face, you're going to already know that she is a leftist psychopath, okay? So you got your trigger warning. You got your cringe suit on. This is Mary Kenny, ladies and gentlemen. Mary Kenny apparently also was on a podcast recently. So that's a thing. But yeah, this is Mary Kenny. And even if you couldn't hear her speak, right? Even if you couldn't hear her say a single word, you already know that by looking at this person, you kind of have an idea of where they stand, right? It's like, it's impossible. It's impossible to have these eyes and not be a leftist psychopath, right? It's impossible. It's almost like it's ingrained. So Smash JT says, looks like a Smash JT freeze frame. Nah, bro, this is worse. This is worse. I know I always freeze frame you terribly, but this is pretty damn bad. And yeah, the fact that this person got caught slacking like this is pretty terrible. But anyway, so let's talk about this. So Mary Kenny was the former associate narrative director at Insomniac Games who was working on Marvel's Wolverine and announced that she has now joined CD Projekt Red. Now, if you guys need any more ammo to think to yourselves, oh, is CD Projekt Red savable? We know that CD Projekt Red has been going down the DEI rabbit hole lately, and we know that they've been talking about identity politics and interjecting it more in their future games. We know that. But is the company savable? Well, apparently not. If you had any more questions about it, just know and realize that by them hiring somebody like Mary Kenny, the company is fucked. It is so gone. CD Projekt Red is dead, which is sad because as you guys know, I'm a huge Witcher fan. I honestly, genuinely believe that the Witcher series is some of the best RPGs that aren't Eastern games. I really do. I think that they are fantastic narrative games, and it's fucking sad that now it has gone. It is now being controlled by psychopaths like this. It is really fucking sad, man. Cyberpunk, you guys already know with Cyberpunk, that game got released in such an abysmal state that honestly, I could never support how terrible that game was released. I don't care about the fact that it's a quote unquote good game now. I don't care. But I got to be honest with you. I've been noticing the quality dipping down when CD Projekt Red started their whole DEI nonsense, right? Whenever these companies tend to start going woke, if you guys notice, the quality tends to go down. Very rarely does that not happen, right? The only example I can think of that a company is like semi-woke but also gave you a good product was Larian Studios, right? Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3 is the only one that I could think of off the top of my head that has a pretty woke workforce and actually gave you a good product. But the moment CD Projekt Red started embracing DEI, their products started going to complete shit. And Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the first products they came out with that actually was just terrible, right? The Witcher games were amazing. They were played very well, and Cyberpunk was just fucking god awful. I honestly couldn't even believe that Cyberpunk came from CD Projekt Red. It honestly played like a Bethesda game when it first came out. Like, I expect that level of quality from Bethesda because Bethesda doesn't have quality. Bethesda literally probably doesn't even have a quality department, right? That's how terrible their games get released. But CD Projekt Red was never like that. And up until recently, and now I just think it's going to get worse. I really do. Because when you start getting DEI hires, you start getting people who didn't earn it, right? You got people who are there not because they're great at their job. They're there because they check a box. So the game ends up being complete shit for it, or at least takes a hit in its quality. And then they got to fix it later. They got to figure it out. Or what ends up happening because of Cyberpunk, they end up having development issues to the point where now they got to rush the process, rush the development, push the game out broken, and fix it later. So no matter what, it's complete and utter bullshit. And it's all because they're embracing the wrong kind of thing. But let's continue. So Kenny posted this on LinkedIn and says, without further ado, it's time to announce my new job. Today was my first day as a senior writer at CD Projekt Red, best known for the Witcher series and Cyberpunk 2077. She added, I can't wait to talk about my project. I'm thrilled to be getting back into RPGs, and my team is talented, welcoming, and just flat out cool. Here's to a new adventure. So we don't know which project she's on. We don't know if she's on The Witcher, or we don't know if she's on Cyberpunk 2077, right? If I had to guess, honestly, I would probably say Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. That's what I'm thinking she's on. I don't think she's on The Witcher. And the reason why is because I'm thinking back to a story that came out recently when the developers on Cyberpunk 2077 said that they didn't push identity politics enough. They didn't push social messaging enough. They feel like Cyberpunk 2077 didn't push the social ideology enough, and they want to push it more in the next game. So now that kind of goes in line with hiring a absolute psychopath like Mary Kenny. That makes me think that they're hiring people like her so that they can ensure that that messaging gets pushed in the next Cyberpunk game, right? And I feel like The Witcher is probably more protected in terms of CD Projekt Red. I feel like they're probably a little bit more protective over that IP in terms of who gets to work on it. But still, at the end of the day, the company is now a woke as fuck company. They are absolutely going down that rabbit hole. And once they go down it, there's very little chance they're going to come out from it. I really am not excited to see what they're going to do in the future. And it fucking sucks, man, because The Witcher is such a good series. Such a good series. The entire reason why there's a Witcher TV show is because of how successful the Witcher games were and how beloved they were and how much people like the books and whatnot. And now you got someone like this working potentially on the game. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you had any questions about CD Projekt Red's future, just look into these eyes and you'll realize very quickly that that future is looking very bleak. It's looking very, very bleak.